I'm not wearing that. It's ghastly.
Do you feel sorry for Ginny Weasley throughout the Harry Potter series? There are plenty of reasons why we think you should feel bad for this witch that doesn't get the praise she deserves. From her family dynamics to her time at school, and of course, let's not forget her love life, Ginny had it tough. Join us as we unpack why Ginny isn't as popular as she deserves to be. Get to know the youngest Weasley's hardship and all the moments when we felt sorry for her.
Don't be so mean.
Being the only girl in a family with 6 brothers has got to be a struggle, and being the youngest too, that's like a double hurdle for Ginny. Both of those factors meant that Ginny often missed out on things and was forgotten. Even by the time Ginny was in the 4th year at Hogwarts, her mother was still treating her differently to her brothers due to her age. Ginny was the only one that her mother banished from the meeting when Sirius filled in Harry and the others about the Order of the Phoenix's work and Voldemort.
Wants to build up his army again. 14 years ago, he had huge numbers at his command, and not just witches and wizards.
Anyone with a big family can relate to this experience of getting lost amongst the siblings. And anyone who's the youngest child can surely empathize with Ginny about being told you're not old enough all the time. Growing up at the Burrow looks like a lot of fun, even though the family struggled financially. But it's not quite so much fun if you don't get to do all the things that your siblings do. While most of her brothers played Quidditch in the garden, Ginny wasn't allowed to join in. We discovered that she was so desperate to take part that she started breaking into the family broom shed when she was just 6 years old. She would take each of their brooms out in turn, and here's our first indication of how underrated Ginny's skills truly are. We think of Fred and George as the masters at keeping secrets, but Ginny was never caught taking their brooms. It wasn't until Hermione revealed the secret to Fred and George 8 years later that it came to light. Of course, Ginny went on to be a very successful Quidditch player. She played for the Gryffindor team at school and also proved her leadership skills when holding tryouts with Harry in the Half-Blood Prince. While Harry struggled to get them all to be quiet, Ginny commanded attention with a simple,
Shut it!
She also made a professional career out of the sport as an adult. After playing for the Holyhead Harpies, she became the senior Quidditch correspondent for the Daily Prophet. Impressive stuff. But back to the Weasley family dynamic. With big personalities like Fred and George, it's no wonder Ginny didn't get much attention.
Fred, George! Ginny is your responsibility.
She also wasn't a troublemaker, so she faded into the background a lot of the time. We can see how she gets dismissed when she's desperate to go with Ron when he starts at Hogwarts. When the 10-year-old begs her mom to join him, Molly Weasley replies, "You're not old enough, Ginny. Now be quiet." Ginny had to watch each one of her big brothers head off to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry,
All right, Percy. You first.
while she was left at home. It would have been hard enough watching Bill, Charlie, Percy, Fred, and George head off on their adventures, but hardest of all would have been when Ron went. She was left at home with her parents for that year without any siblings for company. In the first book, she was so sad that she began to cry as the Hogwarts Express pulled out, running along the platform after the train. But little did Ginny know that when she did eventually make it to Hogwarts, she wouldn't have the best first year. To say Ginny had a traumatic first year at Hogwarts would be an understatement. Ginny would have wanted to carve out her own identity at Hogwarts rather than just being known as the Weasley boys' little sister. But she wouldn't have wanted to make a name for herself for all the wrong reasons, like she did in the Chamber of Secrets. The young and impressionable Ginny was manipulated into doing awful things because of Tom Riddle's diary. The book used her as a vessel for evil, making her open the Chamber of Secrets and release the basilisk to petrify Argus Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris.
You've murdered my cat.
And write threatening messages on the wall like, "The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the heir, beware." And it made her open the Chamber of Secrets again and again, with Colin Creevey, Justin Finch-Fletchy, Hermione Granger, and Penelope Clearwater all being petrified as a result.
Ron, this is why Hermione was in the library the day she was attacked.
She worried she was losing her mind as she had gaps in her memory, and then the diary tried to end her life. Of course, Harry saved Ginny, and life went on.
Harry, it was me. But I swear, I didn't mean to. Riddle made me.
But there are clues in later books that Ginny was left traumatized by the experience. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, she had a severe reaction to the Dementors on the Hogwarts Express because of her traumatic experience with the diary. Ron described her as shaking like mad. Hermione had to comfort the sobbing, pale Ginny, and in The Half-Blood Prince, Ginny tells Harry off for being careless with the mysterious book. In the movie, we see her take Harry to the room of requirement to hide the Half-Blood Prince's book, so that he can't find it again. It sounds like she held onto the trauma of that experience for years afterwards.
See? You never know what you'll find up here.
In fact, in the Order of the Phoenix book, Ginny admits to Harry that she'd never truly gotten over her experience of being possessed by Tom Riddle. She spoke with him about it after Harry had convinced himself that he'd been possessed by Voldemort and attacked Arthur Weasley. We discover many of Ginny's concerns when she writes in Tom Riddle's diary. She confides about how her brothers teased her, how she felt about having secondhand robes and books, and how she worried Harry would never like her. The one thing Ginny has received most hate about is her relationship with Harry. Many fans don't think they belong together, shipping Harry and Hermione instead, or Harry and Cho, or Harry and anyone other than Ron's little sister. And Ginny's love for Harry has caused her plenty of embarrassment and pain over the years. Ginny loved Harry from such a young age. We can see this right away in the Philosopher's Stone book, when she's keen to get a glimpse of Harry at platform 9 3/4. In the movie, Ginny gets to wish Harry
Good luck.
as he runs through the wall at the station for the first time. Near the beginning of the Chamber of Secrets, Ginny finds Harry in the Weasleys' kitchen,
Hello.
goes bright red, and runs off. We definitely feel for Ginny in that moment. Ginny started out so shy around Harry. Having a big crush on your big brother's best friend is a pretty embarrassing situation to be in. Fans of the books will know that Ginny sent Harry a truly embarrassing singing valentine during her first year at Hogwarts. It wasn't in the movie, but in the Chamber of Secrets, we read about Ginny writing a poem for Harry and telling it to a dwarf to pass on to her crush. It was meant to be anonymous, but Draco Malfoy blew her cover. These are the kinds of moments that we wish had been shown in the movies.
You got yourself a girlfriend.
In the Prisoner of Azkaban book, Ginny again has an embarrassing moment involving Harry and a card. When Harry falls from his broomstick in a Quidditch match during a storm, Ginny gives him a get well soon card when she visits him in the hospital wing. The singing card makes Ginny blush furiously. These differences between the books and the movies also point to why Ginny doesn't necessarily have the biggest fan following from the films. Bonnie Wright hardly gets any screen time as Ginny across the franchise of movies. But in the books, J.K. Rowling gives us lots of reasons to love Ginny. In the book, it's feisty Ginny who gives readers valuable lessons about being yourself and owning your accomplishments. But in the movies, she's more of a wallflower and doesn't have a huge amount of chemistry with Harry. By the time we get to the Goblet of Fire, Ginny starts to take control of her nerves around Harry. Hermione advises her to relax when she's with Harry and to go out with other boys in the meantime. So Ginny gets on with her life and goes to the Yule Ball with Neville Longbottom. And she starts dating Michael Corner too. By the Order of the Phoenix, Ginny has become much more relaxed around Harry. When she helped the Gryffindor team beat Ravenclaw in her second Quidditch match by capturing the Golden Snitch, her boyfriend Michael gets all moody about the result. He sulks over Gryffindor winning the Quidditch Cup.
Gryffindor win!
Did Ginny put up with that childish behavior? Oh, no, she didn't. Ginny drops Michael soon after because of his attitude. She's showing that your partner should support your victories, not bring you down. She goes on to date Dean Thomas as well.
That happens to be my sister.
So? What if she looked over here and saw you studying me? Would you expect her to get up and leave?
Much to Fred and George's delight, they say to her in front of a jealous Harry.
Then again, the way we hear it, sis, you're doing just fine on your own.
And Harry certainly starts to take notice. Ginny has put up with Ron having a go at her about kissing Dean in public. She sticks up for herself, calling her brother a hypocrite after he kisses Lavender Brown in public. Anyone with an overprotective, hypocritical brother can surely feel a sense of solidarity with Ginny over that. We wish this girl power side of Ginny could have come across more in the movies. Although she eventually got very close with Harry, becoming his girlfriend at school and then his wife, Ginny was always on the outside of the trio's core friendship, and her own strengths were often overlooked. Take, for example, how she was left behind when Harry broke up with her to go on the Horcrux hunt. They'd been dating for most of Harry's 6th year, but he didn't think to take her with him. Ginny had proven how skilled and capable she was as a witch and how loyal she was as a girlfriend and friend. So why couldn't she help the trio? Harry praised her for her Patronus skills in a Dumbledore's army training session.
Fantastic, Ginny!
Ginny had plenty of skill for defensive magic like the disarming charm. She also showed her power with the Reductor Curse. That was another talent that impressed Harry and made her brothers jealous. And her Bat Bogey Hex was so impressive that Horace Slughorn invited her to join his slug club. While the trio of Harry, Ron, and Hermione were off on their mission, Ginny was braving it out at Hogwarts. In the books, we see how Ginny and Neville keep Dumbledore's army going at school. But it's Neville's heroics that made the film. Ginny definitely has strength as a witch, and that strength was underrated. Haters can hate, but there was always a connection between them, even when they were broken up. Like when they're getting ready for Bill and Fleur's wedding, and Harry does up Ginny's dress for her before they kiss.
Morning.
Let's not forget that Ginny had taken the lead too, kissing Harry in the room of requirement. Yep, she's a great role model. Do you feel bad for Ginny too? Let us know what you think of Ginny in the comments, and hit that subscribe button to know when we release more videos on the things. Thanks for watching!